Well, Burnley won, Luton Town won. Honestly, my mood has completely changed within the last 5 minutes, but in today's video, I'm here to give you my overall thoughts on that 1-1 draw away from home. Honestly, my mood has constantly changed. First half, you know, it was high and then low. Second half, continue staying low. Last 5 minutes, I'm buzzing. Honestly, this point away from home against Burnley, it's amazing. I said before the game in my match preview, it was so important not to lose this game, and I would take a point away from home. This point will be so important going forward. You have to take points against the teams around you in the Premier League. We've done exactly that. We needed to get a point away from home, and we've done it. Okay, that second half wasn't good, and we'll get into that in a second. But we needed that point, and I'm super happy that we managed to get it. So lots to talk about. So, Rob Edwards, the starting 11. Clark coming back into the side. I was shocked. I was very surprised to see him. I thought he did okay. Wasn't great at times, but I thought there were some bits of his play he did extremely well, and it helped. I think the first half was pretty much the story of Luton's season so far. It was putting in the performance in, but the scoreline not reflecting that performance. We were very dominant that first half, you know, controlling possession, doing extremely well, and I felt we should have gone in at half-time winning the match at that point, you know, 1-2-0 up. But unfortunately, in typical Luton fashion, we switch off and we concede a really poor goal. Now, the Burnley attacker, he was one-on-one with our defender Menji, and he beats him far too easily. Ball goes into the box, and it's literally a free shot for the Burnley attacker, who's just there within 9 yards away from the goal. You can't allow that to happen, in my opinion. It really is poor defending. We should be doing a lot better. I question Mark Amari Bell and also Gabe Osho. What are they doing? Because I don't see them picking up any player. So why are they allowing that to happen? Whereas the midfield, why are they not tracking down the runners? It was just really poor in my personal opinion, and it really did let us down, and it shot ourselves in the foot a bit because we did perform extremely well in the first half. There were shouts for a potential penalty for us on Clark. It would have been extremely soft. However, we've seen Premier League referees and VAR get involved and give types of penalties exactly like that throughout the whole season. You know, Jota for Liverpool was a massive one. You know, little touch and it's a pen. You know, so you don't ever know what could potentially happen there. I didn't think it was a penalty, but you know, there's arguments for it. But overall, going in at half-time, I was happy with the performance, but disappointed with the scoreline because we'd done extremely well. But it was just simply our final ball, that last bit of quality, letting us down massively in the first half. And it was a real shame that we weren't able to have that in the end. Second half, we just completely changed. Our foot came off the gas there, and I just don't know what was going on. It was completely like two different Luton sides in my personal opinion. We were awful, no urgency, our quality was nowhere near good enough. We were getting offside quite frequently, which was really frustrating me because there was no need to be offside. We kind of ran out of ideas. We didn't know whether to go long, go short, movement. We had no idea. We were struggling to beat players. And you can credit Burnley for that. They did exactly what they needed to do. 11 players behind the ball. Trafford, you know, coming out for crosses, you know, and obviously wasting time by going to the floor or pretending to be injured. You know, the typical tactics which they do. Time waste at home, which, you know, if we were in their situation, we would do exactly the same thing. You know, it doesn't change there. I've got no fault to it because we all do it. But yeah, it was a real disappointing second half performance, and Burnley looked the much better side. They were coping with it, and they were just trying to counter-attack us every single time when they could, and they did look very dangerous on the break. But the story of Burnley's season is looking fancy on the attack, but with no end product, lack of goals to show for it. So they even Burnley themselves are struggling to score goals, especially in the Premier League, despite scoring loads of goals last season in the Championship. So look, it was a very difficult game for both sides. However, overall, I do think we deserved something from the game. So let's actually talk about our goal, which came in the 90th minute, which, if I'm being honest with you, when it came to the 70th minute, I was like, yeah, Burnley have won this. Cannot see Luton getting anything. And we were relying on a mistake. and that mistake came from, I think, Burnley's best player in the game, and that was Trafford. I thought he was very brave throughout the whole 90 minutes, if I'm being honest with you. Well, whole 95 minutes, in fact. You know, coming out for crosses, being brave, keeping the scoreline level. I think just playing it safe. You know, he's a young keeper. He's got lots of learning to do, and he's going to be potentially future England #1, especially England's #1. But on this particular occasion, I felt he did make a mistake. Now, there's a lot of argument about, oh, it's a foul. For me, it's just simply not a foul. I'm sorry, if you are a Burnley fan watching this video, just think of it being the other way. Think of it as it was our keeper doing that to your attacker. You will be thinking exactly the same way that we are thinking. It was soft, and I knew exactly what Trafford was trying to do. He was trying to win a cheap foul, and unfortunately, the referee didn't buy it, and he made the correct decision. I think in today's modern day football, goalkeepers are far too easily dropping down and winning cheap fouls. We're too protective over the goalkeepers. Now, Elijah does actually block his pathway. I agree to that. However, the goalkeeper doesn't do enough to get round Elijah. You know, if you just block a keeper's pathway and the keeper just runs into you and falls down, that's not a foul. The keeper needs to do more. You know, Elijah hasn't done much. All he's done is stood like that. There's not much in it at all. And he stood in a very particular area, which makes it hard for the keeper to do. But because Trafford came out, he has to commit. He has to make a decision. Do you go and grab the ball, or do you stay and do you stop running out? Trafford made the decision to run out and try and win a cheap foul, but unfortunately didn't fool the referee. And I'm super glad the goal didn't get overturned, because if the goal did get overturned, I think I would be falling out of love for football, because you can't give fouls like that. You just simply cannot. If you give fouls like that, then you'll be giving fouls every single game, cheap fouls every time, and then it becomes not a contact sport. Football's a contact sport. There needs to be some bit of contact involved. I don't think what Elijah did was enough to warrant a foul, in my opinion. So that's why I think the goal should stand. I'm super happy that Morris scored the goal, because he hasn't been scoring a lot. And although Sheffield United, he was part of the 2 goals there. You know, first open play goal since September, I believe. So that's good for him, good for his confidence coming off the pitch as well, coming onto the pitch as well from being a sub. He had an injury, so he was in doubt to play in this game. But I'm super happy that he did obviously feature and come on and make an impact. It was nice to see Luke Berry come on as well, because we don't often see him. And I thought, you know, he impressed, just got himself all about on the pitch, which was great to see. Obviously, Chong being a really spark when he came on, bit of energy, bit of legs on the pitch. I thought overall we deserved something. I don't think we deserved the win. If we carried on performing like we did in the first half, then yeah, I think we did deserve to. But we didn't. We dropped our level. We went from being up here to here in the second half. And you can argue and probably say Burnley deserved something as well, because of how well they did in the second half. But overall, we weren't great second half, and we can't be repeating that second half performance, because if we repeat that second half performance in future games, we'll go down. We'll get beat by Bolton playing in that second half performance against them. We'll 100% get beat by Bolton midweek next week. So we have to make sure we keep performing like we did in the first half. If we do that, we know we're more than capable of winning games of football. We also need to sign a couple of players. I do think we need someone attacking. Someone with a bit different, because I think we were too easily to defend against, and we ran out of ideas. We are massively relying on Ross Barkley with his quality, which is obviously great to see, but we are massively relying on him. But we can't always be doing that, you know, because if anything happens to Ross Barkley, we're in trouble, and that's not a good sign. So definitely business needs to be made. Defenders need to be coming in as well, and yeah, lots of transfer activity I'm expecting. I know Rob Evers came out and said not much, but I actually think there's going to be quite a bit of transfer activity coming in the next, you know, 2 weeks of the window left. So yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section of the video, and yeah, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.